Doesn't mean tornadoes are going to be likely. This is just one tornado warning that we have, and I think that we'll probably see a couple other tornado warnings for brief areas of rotation. And the current area of rotation that we're looking at, I'm looking at it from the Fort Smith radar, is very broad, and that's a good thing. And I'll go ahead and point out exactly what I'm looking at. Our area that we're watching is right there, and it looks like it has just ever so slightly weakened here in the last couple of minutes, getting ready to cross over Highway 8 there, right near Big Fork. And it's going to be embedded. I think any area of rotation today that you see is going to be embedded in a big area of rain. So very difficult to see. We've had a couple events this year where you've gotten to see wall clouds, funnel clouds, tornadoes with really not much difficulty unless you had trees in your way. And of course, there's lots of terrain out here. But I think the storms themselves today will make any viewing of a tornado pretty difficult unless you are very, very close to it. So the area of rotation now getting close to Big Fork, coming up on Odin and Pencil Bluff. As long as that area of rotation holds together, of course, we hope it does not. And as of right now, this is going to stay north of Norman and northwest of Mount Ida. And of course, this is well to the west of Glenwood and Hot Springs. But we're going to watch other areas along that line as well. Barry?
All right, here's a look at our view from Hot Springs, and you could really see the dark clouds off in the distance. That'll be kind of the leading edge of those storms as they move on in, and the camera's starting to shake a little bit, so there's plenty of wind energy as well. Also looking at some power outages down in southwest Arkansas. So Howard and Pike County, there are 6,000 to 7,000 customers in each of those counties, and about half the power is out in Pike and Howard County. So that tells you that there's wind with these storms. I haven't seen any signs of rotation there, so it's just damaging winds. That's our primary threat for today. Let's show you kind of where we're looking. I'm going to go back to radar, and you'll see that this whole line stretches from west of Boonville down through Waldron, east of Mena. Of course, the tornado warned storm that now is emerging from Polk County and moving up into Montgomery County. And we'll zoom in on that, and we'll show you the velocity product on it. And it's very broad, and it's a rotation kind of around Big Fork. There's some wind coming away from the radar site and going toward the radar site there. But if you're anywhere from Highway 8 to Highway 82, this is going to be the area that you're going to need to get into that lowest spot in your house. And I'm going to go back to just some smaller roads there, like Mine Creek Road. That's it right there, County Road 601. And it will go into western, this is western Montgomery County and the town of Alf. Can we see this? I think it went away there. Little community called Alf. There it is right there. And so these are very, very small communities, but if you live in that area, very hilly, very mountainous, very forested, but you know where those are. Pencil Bluff, though, would be the area coming up. Places like Camp Ozark, not far from there along the Ouachita River, that would be in the path of this storm. And we'll just see if the rotation tightens up, because right now it's not apparent that there's a tornado with this. But take those precautions to get into the lowest spot in your house. Here's our radar as the leading edge now moving up toward Pencil Bluff. And velocity-wise, still just very difficult to make out where that rotation would be within there. There are other areas down to the south that there is a little bit of rotation, and I think a lot of wind. And this is a severe thunderstorm warned storm. See Daisy right there? That's Pike County. There's Highway 84. Look at the wind just bowing out. And that is moving away from the radar site in a broad area. And I think that's why there are so many power outages. I think primarily from northern Howard into northwestern Pike County. If we had a map breaking down each spot where those power outages are, I'm saying it's in that part of the county. And there is also a little bit of rotation trying to form there. This is not tornado warned. We're going to continue to watch it. But along this whole line, we're going to have to keep a close watch on little indentations there, little areas of rotation. And the tornado warned storm is still going on from the eastern part of Polk County into Montgomery County in that part of the state.
We have over 11,000 now without power,
it's really
and
gone
that
out.
is in mainly Howard and Pike counties.
Mm-hmm.
So the portion of the line that is just to the south of the tornado warning is causing some damage. So we may have a weak tornado there in the eastern section of Polk County or western Montgomery County. It looks like some more rotation is developing, but there is a lot of wind along this line, and right now a lot of the power outages are down in the southwest portion of that, but I think we're going to see these numbers climb as the line continues to drift off towards the east. I do want to show you the other areas of rotation that I'm watching. There's one in Scott County. There's a new one developing in the eastern section of Polk County, right on the county line there west of Odin, and then you have another one there on the county line of Howard and Pike County. All of these are basically moving east or northeast, kind of more now a northeastwardly direction on the one that's currently tornado warned. But all of these, at some point or another, as they move towards the east this afternoon, could try to produce a brief tornado. We're looking at probably some trees down with the high winds as this moves east as well, and then the tornado threat remaining on the low side, but occasionally one of these storms could try to put down a tornado. Probably going to see more power outages as well as these storms approach Arkadelphia, Hot Springs, Perryville, maybe Russellville as well. And then the storms will probably be severe as they make their way into the Little Rock metro area. We do expect the threat to really wind down after about 7 o'clock. I think the line's going to begin to fall apart. But we still have a few hours where the storms do look like they're going to present at least some severe weather threat. I want to show you the new area of developing rotation that's in the current tornado warning. It looks like the old tornado warning the old area of rotation has weakened. We've got a new one that's more so looks like strong winds to me, but could be an area of rotation that's developing there right on the county line. So stay in your tornado shelters, Odin, Pencil Bluff, even down to Mount Ida. There's some very strong winds that are headed this way and are headed your way rather, and we're going to make sure that we're going to stay with you through all of it as long as there is a threat for tornadoes. Over the course of the afternoon, as tornado warnings are canceled, we will probably go back to regular programming at times, but we're going to be in here watching the threat for severe weather. And I want to give you another idea on timing for areas that are just towards the east. And this is at the current speed for this line. But coming up here, let's say it continues moving at 35 miles per hour, it's going to be near Lake Washita coming up at 4 o'clock, and then Hot Springs as we get close to 4:30, and then coming up on the I-30 corridor close to 5 o'clock, and that's when it'll be on the western section of the Little Rock area. So the line, it's not moving at just super fast speeds, but it's going to get here within the next 2 hours with the severe weather threat continuing. I have not looked at an update from the National Weather Service on what they think about the area of rotation that's out with the cell that's in Montgomery County. But it looks like there's still rotation out there, and if you are in Odin along Highway 270, or if you're along Highway 88 that runs towards Pine Ridge, just do yourself a favor and make sure that you're in your tornado safe spot just for the next 15 to 20 minutes as this line moves off towards the east. I think we may have an area of stronger rotation down to the northwest of Daisy. That might be the line that has, and I can see that from the Little Rock radar as well. You've got an area of rotation in far northwestern Pike County, and on its trajectory, that may take it up towards Norman or between Norman and Glenwood. So that's going to be a spot to watch, and I might be surprised if we don't see a tornado warning issued for that if it holds together over the next couple of minutes. But regardless, remember, regardless of if it's a tornado warning or severe thunderstorm warning, at least for the next 2 to 3 hours, this line's going to present the wind or very isolated tornado threat. And I think this is just going to be, and now with the warm temperatures in front of the line, a pretty formidable line segment. And hopefully we don't see a ton of damage, but we know of at least 11,000 power outages down in the southwest part of the state, and it keeps climbing every time it updates. This line is getting ready to advance through Pike County. After that, it's going to be near DeGray Lake and get into Clark County. It'll get on to Lake Washita. If you know somebody that is on our lakes today, it's been a pretty nice day so far. It's time to get off if they happen to be on Lake Washita, Lake Hamilton, or DeGray Lake. And then you look at the northern segment of the line, I think that might be the segment that has the best chance to see some rotation. It's eventually going to get into Perry County, and maybe the worst of it stays to the south of Russellville, but still probably we'll see a severe thunderstorm warning extended off towards the east at some point, and then that severe thunderstorm warnings go all the way down to the Texarkana area. So there's the line segment. Barry, we may have seen the tornado warning canceled. And unless a new one is issued here in the next few moments, we will continue, I think, with Little Rock ARC.
Our current time to Little Rock, ARC show at 3 o'clock. We we're going to stay on for just a second here, and I'm going to say that I think there is a wind damage possibility in that northern part of Pike County. So let's just stay with it a second. If any other tornado warnings are issued, obviously we're going to be on the air with our Little Rock Arc show, and that is normally scheduled at 3 to 4, and we're covering that up right now. But let me show you why I think I don't know that it's quite as strong as it was. Yeah, this is down around Murfreesboro, and actually just to the north of there, west of Daisy. I think there is some rotation and certainly some wind, and that is moving in that part of the state. But along this line, I think there are little indentations that we're going to have to watch. So pay attention. Montgomery County, you're obviously in a severe thunderstorm warning. That's the yellow box right there. And until we can say that these storms are not able to produce a tornado, we're going to be right here watching them all the time. Again, I think, James, I think you're right. I think we can go on to and begin Little Rock Arc. And if the producers will tell us what we need to be doing. But
yeah, we can give them a couple of minutes.
Yeah, give me a couple of minutes, but we're going to send it back to our programming there. We have had 11,000 plus without power in Pike and in Howard County. And I think there was at least some wind, if not something more. So we'll send it over to the Little Rock Arc, and we'll be watching this all the time.